Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, having a slight little issue with the truck, but nothing major, but still enough to be a pain. So I noticed this morning at about 6:30 in the morning, it was pretty cold out. It was about 25 degrees. And I started my truck. I let it warm up for a little bit, but I noticed when I put it in drive, my lights slightly flickered. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was just cold batteries and nothing major. But then I noticed a message on my screen pop up for power saver mode. Now typically power saver mode means there's something wrong with my battery, because some of these trucks have an intelligent battery sensor that will sense if there's something wrong with your battery and pop it up on your display. Now, if it was a charging issue, there would be a different indicator that pops up on the dash, like a red light for the battery or some type of battery charging issue notification or something along those sorts that would tell you that it is the alternator or some other component of the charging system. But the battery saver mode typically means that there's an issue with the battery and the system is shutting down non-essential components so that they're not drawing any further current from the battery that could cause system failure, meaning you could stall your engine or you wouldn't be able to start the engine. So luckily I was able to start the truck, but I still have the notification on my dash. So I called a couple stores around me today while I was at work, and nobody really had two batteries that I needed. I called Advanced Auto, they had one. I called a different automotive place, they had one, but I just didn't have the time to drive around to different locations picking up different batteries because they charge you that core fee, and then I don't want to drive around to different locations just to return my old battery to get that money back. So I ended up calling my local Walmart. They did have two of the batteries I needed in stock, so I ran over and bought them, and I'm driving them home tonight. So I just wanted to make a quick video about this, just in case any of you see this notification on your dash, what you can expect it is. Now, it doesn't always mean it's your battery. It could just mean you have loose terminals and you need to go check that everything's tight. That is a possibility, and I always recommend doing that before you purchase any additional parts. So this morning I ran out and put a wrench on the terminals, so everything was tight, so I knew it wasn't the terminals, so I'm only left to assume that there is an issue with these batteries. Now these batteries are stock, so they're probably 5 years old now, so they're definitely probably at the end of their life. Most higher end batteries have about a 5-year max life. Some might last longer if you take care of them and you put them on a charger and whatever not. But I don't want to just replace one battery. I want to replace them both at the same time, since I'm pretty sure that these are the same stock batteries that came with the truck when it was brand new. So that's it for now. As soon as I get home, we'll pick this back up. Okay, so just so you can see what's on the dash, that is the message, battery saver mode. If you get a message like this, it's probably your batteries and most likely not your charging system. Okay, so it's been about an hour. We're getting back in the truck. Let's see what the volts are reading right now. So down to 12 volts. So again, usually when I come out here in the morning, it's reading about 9. And then when you crank it over, it goes up and down, then eventually it works its way back up to 14. So I could pretty much assume the batteries are bad. Okay, so here we are, my battery and my little bit of a messy wire job here. Since we have two batteries, we're gonna take the negative off both sides first, and then we're gonna come back to battery number 1, take the positive off, go over to battery 2, take the positive off. Once I have both of them disconnected, we're gonna have to come down here and take that bolt out right down there, okay? And that's what's holding this battery in. That side over there is gonna be a little trickier because I have to take the horn off of my intake to get access to the battery, or at least loosen it up enough to wiggle it out of the way. So let me start working on that and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got the battery terminals taken off the right side and I have the battery terminals disconnected from the left side. right down there, I took the bolt out to release the clamp for the battery. It's gonna look just like that. It pretty much just sits on there and holds it into place. So we got that out. So now all I gotta do is rip this battery out, get the clamp over there, get that battery out. Now because I have an aftermarket intake, I had to disconnect the tube because it pretty much covers this whole corner of the battery. So I just went ahead and disconnected it from the down tube and cleared my area. So I'll get that out and then we'll start putting in the new batteries. The new batteries, again, I went with the EverStart Max. These have a 3-year free replacement. So again, these are actually pretty decent batteries. And again, they should do the job. So let me go ahead and keep working on getting those batteries out and we'll get these installed. Okay, so we got the old one out and we're about to put the new one in. This is what it looks like. Just a big giant cavity. And so let's go ahead and get this done. Okay, one in, one more to go. Once I get them both installed and mounted, we'll start hooking our terminals back up. Okay, and the number 2 battery is now installed. And I got the bracket down at the bottom, holding it in place. So now what I'm gonna try to do is tuck the insulation sleeves that came with the battery. I'm gonna try to tuck that in around it. It's a tight squeeze, but it just helps insulate the batteries from extreme cold weather. So I'm gonna try to put those on. Once I get both of those on, I'm gonna put my terminals back on and we should be good to go. So I'll be back here shortly. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the ground terminal on both batteries. I have not hooked up the positive yet. So if you come over here, you'll see I got the ground on, but I do not have the positives hooked up yet. So you wanna make sure your batteries are both grounded first. Now I'll go back over to battery number 1, put the positive terminal on. Then I'll come over to battery number 2, put the positive terminal on, make sure everything's working as it should. Then I'll put my intake tube back on, clean everything up, and we'll be done. So let me finish that and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got the number 2 battery installed, got the intake installed, got this battery installed. I didn't worry about rerouting all my wires tonight. It's just getting dark and cold. I'll clean that up another day, but I got that battery in, so everything should be good to go. Everything's cleaned up and mounted. So now we can go start it up and check our volts. Okay, so we just got the batteries installed. Let's see what it says. All right, so we have a nice 12 volt right there. Everything turns on real well. Let's see what's going on. Now again, these possibly might not have been fully charged when I bought them off the shelf, but they're up to 14 now, seem to be doing good. Let me check my message center here, see if my message has been taken off. So again, the messages are saying cleared out. Now that could just be because I disconnected the batteries and reconnected them. Maybe it reset. So I'll have to check this out over the next day or so and monitor it. But so far, everything seems to be looking pretty good, but I'm pretty sure everything should be working fine. Let me turn that back off. Turn it back on. Let's see if we can check those. Okay, so it's holding 13 volts, which is definitely good with the truck shut off. Because before, remember, it was dropping down real quick to like 11 or 10 or 9. So we're just going to go ahead, give it a day or two and see how it goes, but I'm pretty sure that's going to fix the problem. Okay, it's the next day. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Truck hasn't even been started yet. I'm going to come in here and try to monitor. As you can see, there's still ice on the windshield. Okay, let's see what this looks like now. Okay, it's still holding at 11. Yesterday morning when I got in here, it was sitting at about 8. as soon as I put the key in, it said 8 volts. Now I do have my heater and everything off for now. There we go. It's already bouncing between 12 and 14. It's just working its way back up. So let's go look at the messages. 0 messages. Okay, so we're on our way to work, and I keep monitoring the gauge, and this time and earlier around 6:30, I actually was taking my kids to school, came home, got changed for work, came back out, started it back up. The voltage was holding at 12 this time, and now it's back up to 14. So it seems to be holding its charge at about 12 volts when the car is cold, which is what it should be doing. And when it's running, it's holding at about 14. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to work. It's a pretty cold day today. It's actually registering 19 degrees. So what I'll do is later tonight when I get out of work, around 8 o'clock, it's gonna be dark out, it's gonna be cold out. So we'll test it again one more time to see if it's holding its charge over a period of say 8 to 10 hours. And as long as it's holding at 12, that's a good sign. So again, that pretty much just tells me that that battery saver mode warning message is just telling you that your batteries are dying and that you should go get them replaced ASAP. Okay, so I just got out of work. It's a little after 8 o'clock at night. Let's go ahead and see what the voltage is reading now after the truck is sat outside in the cold. So it's still saying about 11. So again, as long as it's holding at 11 and it's not dipping any further after sitting in the cold, that's perfectly good with me, and I'm happy with that. And then once the truck starts, within a minute or so, it's already up to 12 to 14 volts, so that's where we need it to be. Okay, everybody, so that's pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to go over what that message means in case it pops up on any of your dashes. I would just suggest that the first thing you should do is make sure all of your cables and connections are tight and you have a good solid ground. And if you've checked all that and everything seems good, I would definitely recommend you take your battery to some type of automotive store and have them test it to make sure your battery is okay, because typically the battery saver mode warning is usually telling you that your batteries are no longer holding a good charge. So that's what I would recommend doing. If you get any other indicators like the red battery indicator or a battery charging issue warning, that might be an alternator or some other problem. But the battery saver mode is probably going to either be a bad connection or your batteries are dying and you're going to need to replace them. So that's it for today's video. I hope it helps some of you out. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I truly appreciate you all. Thank you. And as always, see you in the next video.